Let's finish the job for him. Vote yes on the bill.
For Mike Johnson, cheers from fellow Republicans have been both heartfelt and well-earned. He's managed to squeeze out challenging legislative wins with virtually no room for error, just a 3-seat majority and a party full of divergent views. It culminated with delivering President Trump's big, beautiful bill right on July 4th.
You've said all you've ever aspired to be was a fireman. And congrats, because you're Speaker of the House. You are now putting out literally 5 alarm fires every single day. What has this been like to kind of deal with getting all of this legislation, lots of different things passed, but the big, beautiful bill especially? What is the secret sauce, if you will?
Well, for me, I'm pretty open about this. It's a matter of faith, you know. I quote often John Quincy Adams. He said, "Duty is ours, results are God's," right? So that's a very liberating way to live. It is my biblical worldview. You know, we be faithful in the little things that God puts before us today, and then He takes care of the rest. And so that's what I do here. There's a lot of patience and prayer that delivers all these legislative victories. It's not pulling rabbits out of a magic hat, as some people have tried to analogize the last few days. It's a lot of work that goes into this, and frankly, a lot of faith.
And the commander-in-chief clearly shows faith in Johnson.
If you keep up this pace for another week, you go down as the greatest speaker in the House in history. He's been going at a fervent pace. Would you say that's right? Your wife probably says, "You are crazy." You've been aging beautifully in front.
This first 6 months of the Trump administration has been the most productive and most effective, arguably, of any in history, and all of U.S. history. I mean, since the founders' era, because you have a close alignment between the White House and the Senate and the House.
And they had one more element, a plan.
We thought very deliberately and carefully about how we would go about the first 100 days, the first 300 days. This was all planned. And now we're implementing those plans. And the Democrats made a major mistake, tactical error, by giving President Trump 4 years and all of us to plan for what this would look like.
Democrats, though, argue Johnson and the GOP made a big tactical error with the signature legislation that will cost them their majority in next year's midterms. They call it wholly immoral.
They say food assistance, Medicare, some of these cuts and all of that, they call that immoral. But what is the morality here, the way the Republicans, the way you guys see it?
I'm glad you brought it up. Food assistance and Medicare aren't touched in this program. No one is going to lose their health care. They're going to try to pretend that they have the upper hand on the morality. I love the debate, and I'm anxious to engage in it any place, anytime. What we did in the big, beautiful bill is exactly along the moral standards and something we're proud to do. Because what we did, for example, instead of taking health care away from people, what we did is we strengthened the safety net programs. So what we've done is we've reintroduced a work requirement, right? 20 hours a week, by the way, not draconian requirements, but all you have to do is have a job, be looking for a job, be in a job training program, or volunteer in your community for 20 hours a week if you're going to be on Medicaid. It comports with common sense and morality. Work, we find our dignity in work. It's good for a young man to have to help pull the wagon and not ride on it. That's the right and moral thing to do.
Speaker Johnson's confidence goes beyond that morality to something bigger and providential. After seeing both the assassination attempt in Pennsylvania and Florida fail, Johnson became convinced that Trump would win the presidency. He shares with us what he told the president during those days.
Scripture's clear. God is the one that raises up those in authority, and He has selected you. To me, it seems obvious you're going to win another term. And what a profound thing it is to be raised up by God to lead the greatest nation in the history of the world for the second time. He thinks of it that way as well. And you hear him use that language himself in recent months and since the inauguration.
Johnson believes it changed Donald Trump, which has led to an extremely effective second term, especially when it comes to working with Congress.
President Trump's head and heart are in exactly the right place right now, where the American people need them to be and that where we want him to be. He thinks very contemplatively and very deliberately in his decision process.
It's become a match, some might say, made in heaven. Johnson and Trump seem like an unlikely pair for sure. A brash New Yorker and a jovial evangelical from Louisiana. But it works. Eventually, Johnson won't have Trump at his side as he eventually rides off into the sunset. But the battle for America will soldier on.
So we're going to be in a contest between actual worldviews, between two competing visions on who we are as Americans and who we're going to be. And I think our party has a very important role. MAGA is part of that. And it'll be an interesting time for the next 250 years of the country.
In the interim, Mike Johnson is just taking it one day at a time, rejoicing always and praying without ceasing. David Brody, CBN News, Washington.